All right, guys, today we're going to take a look into some Jewish mysticism. We're going to be looking at the 10 mystical Sefirot symbol from, I think, the Kabbalah, however you say it. We haven't done a ton of Jewish mysticism stuff on here, but I thought it was about time to bring some of that back. Yeah, we have. Yeah,
Mysticism, mystical. This should be mystical and interesting.
Yeah, so we're going to learn about this very popular symbol. You've probably seen it there. When you connect the dots on it, it looks like a goalie mask.
It does.
You know. But anyway, guys, won't keep you waiting. Let's get into it.
In the beginning, God decided to do the impossible, to create a finite, diverse universe within his infinite, indivisible self. God first created the Mystical Sefirot, 10 divine channels through which his infinite light could be condensed, contracted, and then released as individualized attributes that could eventually give rise to a diversity of finite creations. "Let us make man in our own image," said God. No sooner said than done. Man was created in his Creator's image, with his own internal set of 10 attributes through which he operates. These 10 spiritual attributes are reflected in the physical human anatomy. Let's go through them, one by one. Sefirah 1, Chachma. Chachma is the initial seed of an idea, the flash of undeveloped inspiration. It enables us to be creative, spiritual, transcendent. Sefirah 2, Bina. Bina is the development of ideas. It enables us to be logical, analytical, organized. Sefirah 3, Dot. Dot allows us to focus on an idea so that it becomes relevant and personally meaningful. It enables us to be attentive, principled, involved. Sefirah 4, Chesed. Chesed is the power to love, share, and look kindly upon others. It enables us to be generous, optimistic, sociable. Sefirah 5, Gevurah. Gevurah is the power of discipline and restraint. It enables us to be calculated, cautious, serious. Sefirah 6, Tiferet. Tiferet is the power to empathize and to harmonize kindness with strictness based on the needs of others. It enables us to be balanced, empathetic, harmonious. Sefirah 7, Netzach. Netzach is the power of determination to overcome challenge. It enables us to be persistent, forceful, daring. Sefirah 8, Hod. Hod is the power of humility, gratitude, and submitting to a higher cause. It enables us to be thankful, devoted, accommodating. Sefirah 9, Yesod. Yesod is the power to focus on others and to build genuine relationships. It enables us to be selfless, altruistic, loyal. And last, but not at all least, Sefirah 10, Malchut. Malchut has multiple functions. It is the power of speech and action, effective communication and leadership, and to be receptive to others. It enables us to be leading, communicating, achieving. So there you have it, the 10 components of the human self. The internal mechanism upon which all intellect, emotion, and actions run. God used 10 Sefirot to create his universe, and we use our 10 Sefirot to shape our miniature universes.
There you have it.
Yeah, a lot of it seemed to be very positive, and I couldn't help think of the negative side. Is there a negative version of this where it's the greedy selfish part,
selfish,
cruel? Yeah, and then I was also trying to think how could I slot this into the mystical side of things? Would it just be experiencing some of those things through altered states, or just your regular waking consciousness? How do you and then how do you take this information and use it?
I know, right?
It's
one of the things. One of the categories that stood out to me was forcefulness, being able to be forcefully do something.
Yeah,
and that out of all the things, there were I'll be honest with you, a lot of them were kind of like white noisy, like, yeah, nice things. But the mind seems to latch on to any potential for malice. And it was like forcefulness. I don't know if I want anybody to be forceful with me. And when I'm forceful, what does that have to say about me? You know, like, well, when you know what's true, you're forceful about it. I'm like, what if the truth isn't knowable that way?
Being forceful on something also requires a recipient, you know, like someone's got to take that force, right? And so what's taking that force? What's getting into that? But I think maybe part of some of this here has to do with connection, because it's all supposed to be like a connective construct that makes the human function optimally. And so maybe that's what this is, you know, maybe you work off of each little thing. Once you learn the basic, because this was a short video, you learn the basic structure and then you get into them. I'm sure through each structure, there's like another structure that you start working off of.
Don't do what I did. Don't focus on one thing. Balance them all equally.
Balance was one of the attributes that was within it, right?
Right, yeah. So if you consider all of them, I see the point they're making. Something about the positive attributes, just to go back to this like segregated way of thinking of things. Something about the positive attributes I think gets overlooked. And I think it's because of our tendency to be so like... whatever those missing attributes are. So like we said, jealous and selfish and malicious. I think what happens is those other attributes, the negative side, get buried and then sort of superficially laid with those hockey mask attributes. And then they get confused. It's like, I'm behaving out of altruism and goodness. Meanwhile, you're behaving out of fear and wantonness.
Yeah,
you're not actually behaving out of the thing that your mind tells you behaving. But I know I'm being responsible in this. That's not where the actual drive's coming from.
Yeah,
that is worth noting. That's why you look at it. People want to pretend as if you don't need to look at the dark side. Like one thing I've been going around telling people on my travels is like, there's nothing inherently wrong with wrongness or badness. There's nothing inherently wrong with jealousy. There's nothing inherently wrong with malice even. It's not like it's wrong, but only the failure to see it for what it truly is and how it fits into this puzzle and the referentially what it is, that could cause you some suffering because you'll be like confused thinking that you're crusading for good. I'm susceptible. We're all susceptible to this.
Yeah.
It just requires further awareness.
Well, I think more branches within the spiritual community are starting to address this, because maybe this leads into a conversation of kind of spiritual bypassing. But the idea of like, you know, you go off and you pick one thing and you start doing it gung-ho while ignoring everything else. And it becomes a thing to replace, you know, so you don't have to look at some of the darker sides, right? And so I think we're waking up to the fact that we have to come back and address and not just focus on all the nice fluffy, you know, attributes, but take a look at some of the deeper stuff that might be stemming up through our subconscious, you know, in our little micro actions that we take every day, you know, interactions with people, you know, something, you know, just comes out of your mouth and you're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I just said that. Or you don't even notice that you said it.
Can you imagine if humility became like a good trait? And I don't mean within a pocket of society where everybody beats some poor, humble person to death. I mean, like if it actually was wisely considered and humility spread and countries around the world were like, this is where we're suffering. Can you help us? And we all charitably helped each other. Yeah. Like we were honest about our deficiencies. Yeah. We have no resources, but we've got a lot of weapons. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we count for something. Maybe we can put these all into a stronghold. We'll create a program where we put all our most devastating weapons into a stronghold and together have like 200 keys to open the damn thing in case aliens show up. You know what I mean? Yeah. But we all have something to provide here if we're humble enough to admit where we need help. But we got to acknowledge our tendency to be like, that sounds lame as shit. I want to take a shit in your face just for suggesting it. You have to like acknowledge the ape part of you that wants to dominate. You just be like, oh shit, man, you want to dominate too? I want to fucking dominate you. I want to take your shit. You shit, I want to take your shit. Well, we can't take each other's shit or we'll fucking blow the world up in World War III. So what are we going to do? Let's try humility. Let's be honest with each other. All right, maybe we can share. This is uncomfortable. I hate being this vulnerable. Me too. But we're going to literally die if we don't.
Yeah. Well, maybe the dots, those points there, maybe the mystical part of this is that at least they're just identifiers for you to contemplate upon and spend some time when you're like, looking within yourself.
Put this at what I just said at the beginning as a trailer because we were pretty boring for a while there.
Yeah. Maybe that's where the mystical part is like reflection points on like how am I handling with these attributes? Am I being noble? Am I being honest with them? Am I looking at the dark side, the opposite of these sides to see how they, shine through me? But
all the brutality of the world gets underappreciated.
Yeah.
And we are the dominant species on this planet. And so I don't mean, therefore, let's all become Vikings again.
Yeah.
Come on. I obviously don't mean that. Don't conclude so quick.
Yeah.
But I'm saying they don't get appreciated for what they've gotten us to.
Yeah.
Our ancestors were murderers. All of our ancestors. But they got us to the show, and now we dominate the planet, and we're gonna ruin it. We're gonna blow ourselves up if we don't be real about all that and be like, okay, how likely is it that we got some ape DNA that makes us like power obsessed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tap into that primal nature.
And then we can get out of it. Then we can create it'll be hard because we've really effed ourselves with the American dream, like that it's achievable for individuals and pretending like we're not one thing.
Mm-hmm.
We need to realize we're one thing, and we got to see how we're reflecting back and forth to each other, and the honesty that we have, or the failure to be honest, or the failure to be vulnerable, the failure to reconcile with our darkness and our dark pasts.
Yeah. Well, we'll leave it there. Hopefully, guys, you enjoyed this. Also, any other Jewish mystic parts that we can't see here, leave in the comments. Let us know what you have to think if you've got a little bit more experience with this. And hopefully you liked our reaction. If you did, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, share this with a friend, and everyone until next time.
Stay spiritual.